Welcome to the White Coat Ceremony of 2023. So, guests, faculty, and staff, please join me in welcoming our beloved medical students. So, good evening. My name is Joseph Nasser, and I'm a fourth-year medical student at the University of Nicosia. My supervisor asked me here today. Oh, sorry, I'm not an Anoski. So today we celebrate a significant milestone in our journey towards becoming healthcare professionals, the White Coat Ceremony. So as we students transition from preclinical into clinical training, we are taking on an important responsibility. We are now responsible for not only our patients, but for the community we serve. This is a responsibility that should not be taken lightly. The donning of the emblem of the medical profession. Standing here, I assume you can all appreciate the significance of this moment. Even though we have worn a white coat before today, today wearing that white coat symbolizes something much greater. The sacrifices we have made to reach this moment and the sacrifices moving forward. Looking at each one of you, I would like to take this moment to thank everybody who made it here, from near and from far, and to those watching online, for always supporting us emotionally, physically, psychologically, and of course, financially. Without your support, this journey would not have been possible, so thank you. From now on, though, things are going to change just a little bit. For the MDs, my class, we've been together for 4 years, and the MBBS students, it's been 2 years. For some, this may be a see you soon in Limassol, in Paphos, but for others, I guess, see you in 2 years. But fret not, this is just a journey, a path on becoming medical professionals, and we will persevere through it all. Thank you. I would like to extend my thanks to the Dean of the University of Nicosia Medical School, Professor of Clinical Genetics, Professor Adonis Ioannidis, who has always done his best to help us. Professor Ioannidis, if you're ready to make your way on stage to deliver a few words, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph, and thank you for a very kind invitation to the opportunity to address the ceremony. And on this occasion, as the Dean of the Medical School, it gives me great pleasure. And I want to extend a very warm welcome to our students, our Doctor of Medicine and Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery students, and particularly extend this warm welcome to all relatives, friends, those who are here and those who are watching online. And this is a very important occasion. When I was first asked to address a white coat ceremony, we didn't really know what white coat ceremony was. This is a North American tradition. So the first white coat ceremony at the medical school at the University of Nicosia was 10 years ago, actually, 2013. And I remember I addressed that ceremony. It wasn't here, it was at the our main medical school building, and it was in the library. And the reason for that is we only had 29 students there in the T year of the MBBS at the time. And I was looking at the pictures about an hour ago, and it was quite remarkable to think back then. And we're really proud about what you have achieved, our students, alumni have been achieving all these years, to the extent that we have now more than 750 doctors working out there all over the world, essentially being the ambassadors of the medical school. And by the time this graduation cycle will have been completed, I reckon there'll be something of around about 900 doctors working around the world representing our medical school. And this is important. Why? Because it is traditionally this time that signifies the transition between the scientific and the clinical part of your training. But most importantly for aspiring doctors, is an opportunity to reflect on what has been achieved, and a lot has been achieved, and of course look forward to what's coming. And I'm sure you will all do very, very well in your clinical training side. So just once again, congratulations on what you have achieved, and best of luck, and enjoy your clinical years. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Now, I would like to introduce Professor Paula Nikolaidis, Clinical Professor of Pediatric Neurology, and of course, the MBBS Course Director, who has always been a beacon of guidance, to say a few words.
So, thank you very much. Dear students, esteemed guests, and distinguished colleagues, it is a great honor to be here this evening addressing the MBBS class of 2025 in my new role as the course director of the St. George's University of London medical program delivered by the University of Nicosia Medical School. It is indeed my great pleasure to welcome you all to this evening's ceremony, and I would like to warmly congratulate our students on their achievements. I am pleased to see that your family and friends are with us tonight, joining us in this celebration, as well as several other members of our faculty and administration staff. I would like to thank the MSSS and the Student Services for the kind invitation to this event, and anyone else who has been involved in the organization. This year, we are holding the ceremony with the MBBS and MD students who joined us amidst the COVID pandemic. You have lived firsthand the uncertainties and adversities caused by the pandemic, and through this unique life experience, you will have grown into more resilient and adaptable individuals. The ceremony tonight marks a celebration of our students fully returning to campus and re-engaging with face-to-face teaching within the medical school and clinical environment. Indeed, only last week, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 as no longer being a global health emergency, marking a symbolic end to the pandemic. After 38 months, we can finally move forward. And although COVID-19 is not over as a global health threat, our governments will remain vigilant, especially to the risk of new variants, and will continue with surveillance, vaccination of the vulnerable, and increase preparedness for the future. Many things have changed in our lives with the pandemic, which unfortunately for some meant even losing their loved ones. Over the last few years at university level, we have operated a hybrid online education system, and this year we were fortunate enough to have been able to fully return students to campus. Campus life is important as students interact with each other and with faculty, and this is where social learning is most prominent. Of course, your health and safety come first. It is our responsibility to carefully implement all measures on campus, and will continue to do so, ensuring everyone's health and safety. Dear students, we are all so proud of you. You have achieved outstanding success by going through very difficult processes and hard work. You opted to study in one of the medical schools with the strongest educational programs in Cyprus. You will have another challenging and exciting few years ahead in your respective clinical sites, either here or abroad. I know that your families will be with you, supporting you and trusting you endlessly, as they have already done. By wearing your white coats, symbolically you'll be entering your clinical path and becoming a member of a large family. You will wear your white coat as a symbol of purity, honesty, altruism, and trust. You will carry it with the awareness of your professional privilege, however, with the assurance that you will always use the privilege for the benefit of your patients and society. By choosing to study medicine, you have not only stepped into an important profession, you have stepped into a lifestyle of lifelong learning, which requires dedication, commitment, motivation, and hard work, often under suboptimal or hard conditions. However, you have entered a profession that is highly rewarding and greatly respected. Of course, your educational journey will not be limited to the 4 years. It will continue after graduation. We will be with you throughout your journey. It is our responsibility to ensure that you make the best of your school's facilities, your education, personal and professional development. A good medical student is one that takes full advantage of the opportunities offered to them. We know very well that it is not possible to be a good physician by only acquiring academic knowledge. A profession in which it is important to value human beings, to respect human dignity and rights, and to wish well for all humanity undoubtedly requires a development far beyond acquiring academic knowledge. Having ethical and human values, being a good team member, and communicating well is so important that it is impossible to talk about being a good physician and scientist without possessing these skills. The main health problems of society and the social dimensions of health and disease will be at the center of your education and later on in your professional life. Wherever you go and work after graduation, we would not want you to experience any difficulties in respect to your responsibilities. We want you to be fully prepared and competent, whether you work in primary care, in hospital settings, or in research. We want you to have full knowledge of scientific research methods and to be competent both ethically and technically. Claim your education and whenever possible, take responsibility for improving it. Dear students, congratulations on your achievement. I wish you all a successful, enjoyable clinical and academic career. We will always be with you on this exciting journey. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nikolaidis. So before we move on, unfortunately, I'd just like to make a quick announcement. If the owner of the car with the license plate number PEB 335, if you could just please move your car, it's blocking another car, that would be great. So PEB 335, it's a Z car. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to continue. So now we have the Associate Professor in Pharmacology, the Associate Dean for Students and MD Program Director, who has been an unwavering pillar of support for her students, Dr. Sula Nicolaou.
Dear guests, colleagues, students, it is such a great pleasure to be here for this year's White Coat ceremony. Reaching this milestone is an important achievement that needs to be acknowledged and celebrated. Indeed, the White Coat ceremony has been established as an important means of celebrating the achievements of Year 4 students in the MD program and T-year students in the MBBS program every year. Dear students, we're here to celebrate how far you have come. Congratulations. You have accomplished so much in your medical studies already. Medical school can be challenging, but you have worked so hard and we've worked closely together and we have addressed any difficulties that you were facing and you're now one step closer to becoming doctors. It's great to see also so many of my colleagues here today, both from the academic and administrative teams who have supported you to reach this stage in your studies. I would like to extend a big thank you to my colleagues who are so committed to improving our students' learning experience. I know that many of you have been looking forward to the clinical part of your studies. I'm confident that you're now ready to continue your learning in the clinical environment, having gained the knowledge and developed the skills that you need to be successful in your clinical studies. You will soon continue your studies either in Cyprus, Greece, the UK, Switzerland, the States, or Israel. It doesn't matter where you will be. The support network you have developed so far will continue to be here, and we will continue to support you. Leaving the next 2 years aside, today you get your white coats. It's customary at white coat ceremonies around the world to talk about what white coat symbolizes. The white coat can stand for many things, and it may mean different things to each of you. Ultimately, though, your white coat is a privilege and a responsibility that you have earned, and you should be proud of yourselves. I know that we're very proud of you, and it's wonderful to celebrate your achievement with you, your family, and your friends. Well done, and congratulations for all you have accomplished. Take care of yourselves, and I look forward to your graduation in 2 years' time.
Thank you, Dr. Persula Nicolau, for those lovely words. And now we have Professor Joseph Joseph. As you can tell, he is someone who has won the hearts of all his students. In his capacity as Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and the Chair of Clinical Education, Professor of Rheumatology, and of course, MBBS T-Year Lead. He is a voice for his students, and I would just like to invite him onto the stage to just say a few words. Thank you.
Right, now that we got the congratulations out of the way, we need to pull ourselves together and get ready for the next 2 years, rather than all this self-congratulating. You've had plenty of it. But welcome. Welcome to our students. Welcome to the family and friends that we missed at our previous couple of ceremonies. It's lovely to have you all here. Welcome to our members of staff that are here to take part in your special day. And welcome to those students who have been hiding at home doing past questions for the year. It's nice to see your faces. I am here as the T-Year Lead, but I'm very proud of all of you, including the MD students. We're all very, very proud of both groups for what you've achieved at this very important time in your studies. It's a special day. You've had a tough 2 years or 4 years, depending on what course you were doing. It's been a difficult time. You're proving today that you have settled. You have worked, you've got here, and it's a very important point. Even if there are obstacles, even if something goes wrong in one of the exams, you know by now to look at the greater picture, to focus further on than an exam result, because almost everybody who comes into this game is going to go out as they want to be. So look at the greater picture. Even if there was ever, or there will be ever, any obstacles, well done for getting here. The ceremony gets a bit repetitive. We tend to have to say the same things because, of course, it is genuinely the same things that apply. And it comes to mind when I was in Oxford specializing in rheumatology at the Nuffield Orthopedic Center, there was a person of a particular specialty, which I won't say what specialty this was. But he was a world-famous person dealing with the Oxford rowing team and the rugby team and other pointless sports like that, not the football team. And they would come along, and the outpatients departments had curtains. And the curtains would be like many of my colleagues who trained in the UK and in the world, it used to be like that. A curtain and another outpatient, and a curtain and another outpatient. So he came along, the world-famous professor of this particular specialty that we didn't say what specialty it was, in the Nuffield Orthopedic Center, who came and said to the person, you know, you had a knee injury, he said, you were going to go in there, you were going to go in with a little telescope, we're going to look inside, we're going to shave it off, he said, the problem that you have with your meniscus, and it'll take 2-4 weeks, and then you'll have physiotherapy, and then you'll be fine, okay? I said, okay. So he drew the curtain, went to the next cubicle. He said, did you hear what I said to the previous guy? And he said, yes. He said, the same goes for you. And you go into the next cubicle. So he's getting on a bit, but I'm thinking of inviting him with Professor Ioannidis to be in charge of communication skills for you from now on. So in order to stop this being the same stuff every year, we do traditionally, some people make some jokes. And I have to be careful because the organizers who have been so good, and I thank them, have put me before Dr. Baghdadis. So it's not possible to make any jokes about him. Dr. Banos, on the other hand, is an easier target. And therefore he'll just get his own back at a different time. But for Dr. Baghdadis, I just urge you, just if he makes any jokes, laugh at them. It makes him feel very good. Okay. So we do say these jokes, and there is these jokes about particular specialties, which I'm not talking about any specialties, because, you know, last year at this time, I said that my then 14-year-old youngest daughter, I told her in the car, I'm going to make this joke about this specialty. She said, you cannot do that. She said, that's not something that you should do. This year, thankfully, she said nothing when I mentioned it. But this year, it's because she says nothing to anything I say, because she's 15 and not 14 this year. And it's a talk on a need to talk basis. The need being taxiing here and there, money, and Harry Styles concerts. This is what. So I've got the approval to make the jokes this year. And you're having lots of advice, you lot, today. And we are all giving you this advice. And I know you're taking it seriously because you've worked very hard for 2 years. You've come here. And from me, it's three bits. The first one is to look after yourselves, and your health. Don't neglect it, don't omit it because you're so busy. And also make sure to have fun when you're here. And you know, when we are older, telling you that it's fun, you might not believe it sometimes, but it is the best time of your life and your working life. So do have fun and look after yourself health-wise. The second is, you're fed up of me saying it, but you must see lots of patients. The doctors, the older doctors, the ones that you admire, those in your family who are physicians and doctors, and they know so much. They know so much because they've seen thousands and thousands. That's what makes good doctors. And therefore, starting next year, see lots of them, talk to them, listen to them, examine them if they want to. Don't examine them if they don't want to, but you really learn from them all the time. So please see lots. And finally, be where you are meant to be when you are meant to be there. Don't think of, you know, I've got exams, I'll do the questions. I've heard somebody who passed everything by just staying at home and doing this and doing that. That's not what makes you, at the end of the day, a good doctor. And we all tell you this all the time, but you must remember it. It shows throughout your career, if you were a person who saw lots of patients at medical school, or if you were someone who didn't like patients at medical school. So make sure you do it. As touched upon before already by Professor Nicolaou, I do want to thank our administration staff, because you're the first to go through and say, where's the lecture? It's not on Canvas. What's happening? Where is it? But they work so hard. And sometimes we wonder how they do it. So please, let's all thank all our admin staff for all the support. Finishing, congratulations again. Congratulations to the MD group. And you know, you're like a special group. You're like an only child. You don't have anyone else to compare to. You're our own group. You don't have any other group anywhere else that you're comparing to ever. And well done for getting here. And I say all that because I want to say to the MBBS group that this year, unofficially, I'm telling you that you have done better than most other years. And it's been, we can't reveal any details, of course, but I just say to you that we're very, very proud. The results were excellent. Well done to all of you.
Thank you. Congratulations, MBBS. Professor Joseph, thank you for ruining my master plan of putting you before Dr. Baghdadis. But now, Dr. Evis Baghdadis, the Clinical Associate Professor of Respiratory Medicine and MD Year 4 lead, with your great rivalry, please make your way onto the stage. And I would personally like to thank you for everything you've done for us.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this very special ceremony. Hello, parents and loved ones. This is indeed a treasured occasion. I mean, we did start it about 10 years ago. Adonis had black hair. Professor Panos didn't have any hair then. We did miss 2 years, as you've heard, and it was a significant hiatus. But the hiatus of missing the ceremony was insignificant compared to what you had to go through. I mean, you had to miss interacting with your peers and even the other students in this university. And you had, as we heard, this hybrid education. We've learned something from it. I'm still trying to work out how to turn on the Teams on, in the lecture theaters and all that. But thank you to all the IT staff for helping me with that. And we had some occasion when we heard from students that they wanted to continue being taught online rather than coming to the attachments. Well, we're not just old, we're also old-fashioned. And we believe that you should have interaction with patients. And I will tell you what Sir William Osler had said about this. And he said that learning medicine without books is like going out to sea without a map or a compass. But learning from books without patients is just not going out to sea at all. So you have to be out at sea to learn medicine, because you're not just here to become great doctors, you're here to become great people. And having completed your exams, I'm sure you have a sense of achievement that we feel for you as well. And it's mixed with some relief and some longing for that next step that is the next couple of years. It's your final 2 years of medical learning and then the launch of your careers. And this is the launch of that next step. The white coat is just a symbol of what you have already done and what is coming in the next few years. It's also the beginning of the diaspora. And you will be going not just to many sites in Cyprus, but also to many sites around the world. And then you'll be coming all back together to graduate. And we are already proud of you. And we know that the years that you've spent at this school have given you the tools to become, both great doctors and great humans. You have already blended together from all these countries that you've come from, and you're a very good team. So please safeguard that. Keep these friendships that you've made going, and they will help you to strengthen your careers in the future. And as Joseph said, it's not just about learning. You're about to go on holiday. And please go and have some fun. You've missed a lot. And holidays are very short. This is probably the last decent length holiday you're ever going to have. And therefore, spend it with the people you love, the people who are here for you today. And forget about medicine for a few weeks. The long days and nights and the bad food will be, back with a vengeance very soon. So just go forth and have fun. On a slightly more somber note, obviously some of you may have to do some resits. It happened to many great physicians and many great scientists around the world. And as Joseph said, please look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that we feel that all of you will eventually graduate and go on and have a great career. And I will quote something that Michael Jordan said. He said that I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career and have lost 300 games. And 26 times I was asked to take the winning shot and didn't make it. I have failed over and over again, and that is why I am so successful. Now, your success will come from your continued hard work, but also from your dedication and your talent. You're, as we said, more than halfway, only 2 years from your main goal. So please go forth along, all these paths are in the whole earth, and find out who you're really going to be. Please allow time, even in these last 2 years, for yourselves as humans and for your family and loved ones. Make room for activities that will keep you fulfilled and not just reading books, but do talk to patients. They're the great privilege of this profession. They let you into their homes, into their stories, into their hearts, and take advantage of that and make you better people. It is the month of May. As you know, May means it may rain, it may not rain, and hopefully it will not rain until we have our refreshments later. But most of all, may the force be with you everywhere you go from now on. And remember, my favorite quote is, you haven't come this far only to get this far. Go on and get more and more and more out of your life and your careers. Thank you very much for being a wonderful group.
Thank you, Dr. Bakhtadis. So before we move on to the year reps, I would like to make another interruption. The owner of the car with the license plate, Nicholas, NPM, Michael, 011, a Mercedes Cabrio. Can you please make your way to, please move your car? Unfortunately, it is blocking another car. So NPM 011. Thank you. Okay, so now that our mentors have finished with their speeches, so thank you, we have the year representatives. Firstly, Marie-Michelle and Abhishek, please make your way onto the stage. And once they finish, Alma and Leif, please make your way onto the stage, okay? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Let's start off with a fervent expression of gratitude for everyone and everything that made it possible for us to be here today together at this very moment. Let's express gratitude to the passionate and driven faculty members that guided us through these tumultuous years, generously sharing their hard-earned wisdom. Let's express gratitude to the administrative team, working backstage round the clock to ensure smooth running of the program. Let's express gratitude to our families for having shaped who we are today and for their constant support and ongoing investment into our education. Finally, let's express gratitude to our friends, our support systems, those that made walking through this blissful experience all the more enjoyable.
Like many of you, when I first moved to Nicosia, I didn't know what to expect. The notion of leaving something so familiar and comfortable as home seemed like a daunting task. A few days into orientation, it was obvious that this experience was set to become profoundly eye-opening. As I reflect, I realized that a key component of our cohort is the diversity of thought each student brings. Ngomi, small town as it may be, brought together many different perspectives, religions, philosophies, and worldviews. More than anything else, it is this that has enriched my medical journey thus far, and I have all you to thank for that. Though someday it felt like you were alone at Arabica, Nero, Second Cup, or Wayne's, seeing your classmates come say hi and chat for a few minutes was a reminder of the community that in itself was a support system for success. Boy, did we need one. It is human nature to compare yourself to the person next to you. However, when studying medicine, that becomes a trait that could easily lead you to a place fraught with insecurity and self-doubt. At times, I found myself doing this. I realized that when I was studying, I was my harshest critic, and it was always the generosity of my fellow students that brought me back.
If pressure makes diamonds, then we are one dazzling, expensive necklace, my friends. Let's take a moment to appreciate how much we've conquered together. The friendships that we've built here were forged by a continual common struggle. This solidified our bond that we now share beyond med school, beyond our residencies, and beyond our future careers. Time and time again, we've been told about how this tight-knit community we've created in our cohort is unprecedented. It is our strength, and it is our duty to make sure that these bonds do not break within the upcoming great separation. Remember the small moments. Remember bumping into your friends while taking a walk on 20th of October Street, or when studying in Arabica, or when going to the gym or the grocery store. To the point where there was a subconscious expectation of running into familiarity when we stepped out for the day. Our next chapter is anything but familiar. It is daunting and it is vast. But I trust that in these last 2 years, we've built the resilience, the support, and the skills needed to move forward steadfast and headstrong.
As we disperse from our small nesting ground to the big cities of Chicago, Tel Aviv, London, Zurich, Athens, Limassol, and Paphos, I would urge you all to keep the sense of community with you when times get tough and Arabica seems a long way away. Because the next 2 years will be different in terms of challenges and responsibilities. And nothing symbolizes that more than the white coat. Putting on your white coat on today won't automatically make you a great physician. That will take time. But it will convey a commitment to your patients to answer their expectations and to attain excellence. Wearing this uniform, you will find yourself entrusted not only with people's health, but their inner lives. So as you navigate the labyrinth of the hospital, take the time to listen to your patients and the stories that they tell, and to care. Be proud of your achievements today and of the white coat, but remember what it stands for: community, resilience, and compassion. And with that, thank you.
Thank you, Abby and Mima. And now we have Laith and Alma. Please make your way onto the stage.
Okay. Dear fellow student, faculty, staff, and esteemed guests, it is with great pleasure that we stand before you today, having completed the theoretical part of our studies and ready to move on to the next chapter of our medical careers. Today, we gather to celebrate receiving our white coats, a symbol of our commitment to improving the lives of those around us and working towards a brighter future for all. As we don this coat, we are reminded of tireless work of our faculty and staff who have dedicated themselves to teaching and guiding us along with this journey. It is thanks to their hard work and dedication that we stand here today. Thank you especially to our program director, Dr. Sula Nicolau, who has tirelessly been there for us, knows us by name, and has supported us from the beginning. Thank you to our dean, Professor Adonis Ioannidis, and thank you to Executive Vice President of Unique Health, Professor Andreas Haralambous, whose leadership has paved the way for our medical education to blossom.
Indeed, the path to becoming a doctor is not an easy one. It involves countless hours of studying, late nights, early mornings, and more Freddo espressos than we care to count. But through it all, we have had each other. I fondly remember our collective early days congregating right there outside the UNESCO, wide-eyed, simultaneously apprehensive and excited for the seemingly gargantuan task awaiting us. To be sitting here today was a distant dream, but upon seeing my colleagues sitting here before me gives me an immense sense of pride. It's been a true joy to see how we've all grown and supported each other through the highs and lows, celebrated each other's achievements, and picked each other up when we stumbled. And for that, I'm truly, truly grateful.
But let us not forget that many sacrifices that we had to make along the way, the tear we have shed and the laughter we shared. The COVID pandemic was poised to be towering adversary for our medical education, but even with the ocean separating us, we rose to the challenge and came out stronger, with more empathy and sense of responsibility for our common person. It is these moments that has brought us closer together and then enhanced our experience as medical students. As we look towards the future, let us remember the importance of empathy, compassion, and treating each patient with utmost care and respect. We have been given a great responsibility, and I have no doubt that each and every one of us is up to the challenge.
Thank you, Alma. So, in closing, let's take a moment to appreciate the significance of today. A day where we celebrate our accomplishments, our hard work, and the friendships we formed along the way. We've come so far, but our journey is far from over. So let's continue to learn, to grow, and to strive for excellence in all that we do. And most importantly, let's never forget the central purpose of our chosen profession, to help those in need. So thank you to our faculty, to our staff, and our fellow students for all that you have done to help us reach this amazing milestone. We'll wear our white coats proudly as a reminder to the commitment we have made to ourselves, our patients, and the future. And in the words of a great professor of ours, finita la musica.
I bet you can't guess which professor says that. So now that the speeches are done, we move on to the moment we've all been waiting for, and the moment why you're all here, the donning of the white coats. So we are going to start with the MBBS students first, and then move on to the MD students. Firstly, I would like to invite to the stage Dr. Nicolas Dimitriou to start handing the first group of white coats. So, okay. So, can the first row please stand up? Aaron, Daniela, Eliza. Abu Najem, Ala. Al-Sabah, Nader. Al-Logakos, Mario. Atal, Rebecca, Inez. Beidun, Susie. Bird James Anthony. Thank you, first row. First row, you may be seated. Second row, please stand up. Bodine Christine Heidi Ann. Borgstein Arabella Maria Costanza. Thank you, Dr. Dimitriou. You may be seated. All right. Next, I would like to invite to the stage Clinical Associate Professor of Cardiology, Dr. Evagoras Ikonomidis. Burdakos Natalie Erica. Chiki Anna Frederica. Variotis Marissa Maria. Diamantopoulos Antonios. Elliot Barnaby Meyer Henneke. Fathallah Iman Ahmad. Thank you to the second row. You may be seated. If the third row could please stand up. Fong King Hai Anthony. Gedik Dylan Kadir. Georgiadis Stavroula. Thank you, Dr. Evagoras Ikonomidis. If the Clinical Assistant Professor of Surgery, Dr. Nikos Mandas, could please make his way up onto the stage. Georgiou Peyton Celine. Geva Kari. Hak Sholem Nehemiah. Hammer Joseph Joel. Yakovidis Dimitris. Israel Ben Shabbat Paz. Thank you, third row. You may be seated. Fourth row, if you could please stand up. Israeli Yarden. Jaffe Marcia Lee. Thank you, Dr. Mandas. Now I would like to invite to the stage Professor Dimitrios Kanakis. Professor of Pathology. Attar Cyril. Kariri Joel Ian Katimu. Lahav Eden. Lavrusevich Olesia. Lazanakis Eleni. Lugard Emily Elizabeth. Luke Ian Kuimi. Macaron Marie Michel. Markovis Shahar. Thank you, fourth row. Please be seated. Fifth row, if you can please stand up. Mitri George Abdullah. Thank you, Professor Kanakis. Thank you. I would like now to invite to the stage Professor Joseph Joseph, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and the Chair of Clinical Education and T-Year Lead. Muhammad Haroon Asla. Murad Shani. Murad Muhammad Majid. Nasir Maya Layla. Oran Reut. Uedraogo Daniela Miriam. Özgenç İsmail. Hunaran Joseph Bijou. Raful Christopher. Rak Mai. Thank you, Professor Joseph Joseph. I would like now to introduce to the stage our very own Dr. Catherine Alexander. Roshan Abhishek. Safar Jalani Jad. You may be seated, row 5. Row 6, if you could please stand up. Samokovliski Ariella. Sarieddin Noor. Shegun Omoshehin Omotayo Ayomide. Shamis Arwa Abdul Fattah Mabrur. Shi Ao. Sinathambi Naresh Christopher. Sivan Mayan. Thank you, Dr. Catherine. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Professor Faris Yacovidis, Clinical Professor of Pediatrics. Sudesh Shivan. Sukman Natalie. Sundi Michal Shlomi. Takos Michaela. Valkanas Cristina Dimitra. Zahir Tanya. Zaki Kareem Ashraf Ramses. Zervidis Zoe Yana. And finally, Zacharia Jessica. Thank you, Dr. Aphrodidis. And congratulations to the MBBS class of 2025. You may be seated. MD4, it's your turn. If I could have Dr. Katerina Prokopiou, Assistant Professor of Pharmacology and MD Program DAP Lead Years 1 to 3. So the first row, could you please stand up? Al-Hinay Abdullah Abdul Aziz Muhammad. Al-Rashdi Diana Khalfan Said Titoun. Alawiya Basil. Al-Badran Muhammad. Ali Muhammad Saif. Al-Qari Abdullah Ali Umaid. Al-Trabulsi Dino. Al-Zubi Dana Uthman. Bataine Kinda Luay Badia. Bayan Laith. Shahidi Andreas Leo. Thank you, Dr. Prabhaview. Thank you. Next, I invite Dr. Avis Baghdadis. Chandegra Jitesh Monhalal. Choi Stephen Matthew Yingfeng. Constantino Virginia. Doshi Jessel Vijay. Edimo Kesu Regine Audrey. Faris Jesse. Finger Natasha. Thank you, first row. You may be seated. Second row, if you could please stand up. It's a little bit far up. Firuseth Maria Elise. Gardars Dottir Andrea Bjord. غالي فيلومينا محب فايز. Yalilis Ioannis Christos. Glegles Sotirios. Thank you, Dr. Baghdadis. I would now like to invite Professor of Chemistry, Fotos Hagiorgiou. Haraga Gamal Abdelhamid Muhammad Gamal. Hneidi Maya. Ioannou Maria. Israelson Mats Herman. Jason Jessica. Johansson Elin Sernstein. Kanelopoulos Christos Dimitrios. Kanath Hassan Umamena. Kandartsi Olga. Gaspar Roger. Khair Yasmin Jafar. Thank you, Professor Hadjiorgiou. Now I would like Dr. Chloe Andoniou to make her way to the stage. Assistant Professor of Biochemistry and GEMD Associate Program Director. Khan Ozair Ahmed. Kolipera Eleni Maria. Konstantinidis Socrates. Kondu Marleta. Thank you, second row. You may be seated. Third row, if you please stand up and make your way down. Kyriako Ismini. Diakopoulos Alexandros. Lucas Demiana. Man Zoe. Maycroft Hannah. Mazharoglu Erge. Mazurtzik Lucas Alexander. Thank you, Dr. Andoniu. I would now like to invite Dr. George Athanasiou, MD Year 2 Lead and Clinical Assistant Professor. Merchant Harsh. Milchem Hugh Edward. Mitsia Sofia. Monahan Ingelin Megan Ramsdale. Motamedian Subhan. Mutsuri Olga. Mutamiri Tarua Porsche. Nabavie Ramona Pantea. Dalama Abigail Chilenga. Pantelidis Artemis. Pantoudi Paraskevi. Thank you, Dr. Athanasiou. Dr. Persula Nicolaou, please make your way onto the stage. Papa Iliu Vasiliki. Papa Petru Irini. Third row may be seated. Thank you. The fourth row, if you could please stand up and make your way down. Ralidis Stygianos. Sabanech Celine Nicolas Sami. Sanderson Zara Anna Radhirani Aishwarya. Sato Alma. Sava Zoyu. Shivip Diana. Shukri Ahmed Imad Ahmed. Sigir Jons Dottir Rabn Hildur Gerda. Spiru Christiana. Staub Ravit Atara. Thank you, Dr. Nicolaou. And finally, I would like to invite Professor Panos Economou, Clinical Professor of Surgery and Chair of Surgery. Stefanakis Ioannis. Simeonidou Iulia. Shalai Alexandra. Tang Edison Choke Ting. Kathleen Muhammad. Uralevi Nechama Miriam. Valiotis Angelique Katerina. Yari Muhammad Hussam. Yalluros Kalinidos. Zaferaki Mirto. Zarabi Majid Rosita. Zeppegno Marco Ludovico. Guys, I'm so sorry. If you could just stay here. I forgot a student. Nasser Joseph. Thank you, Professor Ikonomu. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the donning of the white coats is finished. And I want to congratulate again, one more time, the graduating classes of 2025. Stand up. Thank you. Now, before I let you all go off to the reception, everyone likes the photos. So, in an orderly fashion, please, guests not now, don't run onto the stage. First of all, I would like the MBBS students to come down for their group photograph. Just the students. You have to.